One, the voice of the people. Radio Democracy. Democracy. Radio Democracy. Democracy. Radio Democracy. For news, views, and entertainment.
Alright, the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. It's exactly 7:30 a.m. from 2 o'clock. Stay tuned as we bring come to you with news and current affairs program Good Morning Salon. Stay tuned to 98.1 FM for the very best in radio listening.
From the New Englandville studio, good morning and welcome to the first edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today, on Monday, April 27, 2026, and we will bring the program come to you this Monday morning. My name is Adeyemi Jackson.
And Musa Kamana, my name. Happy Independence, Adeyemi Jackson, and listeners and viewers of Radio Democracy.
Indeed, happy Independence Day to you too, and to Mama Salon, and to everybody, because today we can't get on clock 65 years since we gained independence from British colonial rule.
As a producer, you know, with your green, white, and blue.
Of course, I see the producer well suited inside the green, white, and blue way. The show say it demonstrates that act of patriotism. But I don't see you put on the green, white, and blue.
Yes, of course. My green, white, and blue day, and I get a lot of activities today where I go use the green, white, and blue, both for air. Not using it for today. The program Good Morning Salon continue. Happy Independence Anniversary to listeners and viewers of Radio Democracy 98.1 FM home and abroad. Well, inside the edition of the program Good Morning Salon, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Alpha Sisi don't call on Salon people for trust the judicial system and electoral process ahead of the 2028 election. The head of delegation for Morocco, Salon Abdallah Boutaga don't commit say Morocco will implement the team with the inside the 13 bilateral agreements with Morocco and Salon don't sign to. And today inside the program Radio Democracy, they look at the country's 65 years anniversary, progress, challenge, and the way forward.
Well, this and other story than they inside the program. Embassy, you listen to me live on www.radiodemocracy.sl and AfriCell, the support Radio Democracy will bring the Good Morning Salon program come to you. You listen to it from we partner radio stations them from across the country. Radio Shalom 89.5 na Koinaduga and Falaba District. Radio Malen 88.5. Radio 1G11.3 na Pujon District. Radio Kolente 90.0 na Cambia. Radio Moa 105.5 na Kailam, Vupad Radio na Watalon, Voice of Sando Radio na Kono District, Voice of Karine na Kamakwe on 98.0, Voice of Masoro Pujon District, Advocacy Radio Putloko District, Radio Katsbami on 106.7 na Tonko Limba, at FM on 95.9 na Moyamba District, and Tongo Radio na 107.5 na Tongo. The program na Good Morning Salon. You can be part of the program by way you send message to the number 077-981-981 or go now we get the Democracy Facebook page and also YouTube page. Also you go follow the program live. Drop a question or comments on the issue where we discuss inside the program today. The program na Good Morning Salon.
We start to look at the issues. We go say the president for Young Women Christian Association, Millicent Fonny, say the first thing we go do as president now for Gowaka and the districts them we YWCA they operate for give awareness to young people them but the association and how important for make they empower themselves in a society and also work for bring one word among YWCA member them. He talked this after one we member them now the YWCA being Pickham forbidden national president. From all this we join Sonia Bell.
The Young Women's Christian Association, YWCA, this Bientem Old and Quadrennial Convention with the theme How to Attract the Next Generation to our association. Usai, this convention na one way they can use for talk but challenge them, what the association don't they get and see how they go able to address them. The first time national president for YWCA, Alice Kumabe, starts for explain more.
When 4 years ago in our office, this is at the time when we for come again, converge together for select the leadership. At the convention, na we come party we all the we train pikin them, woman them, na Christian woman they deal with. But also, most women they stand for benefits. Only that you not going to put them in the organization. So now so we don't the train girls, we train women, we skills.
The keynote speaker for this convention, Batu Jambawai, been gets this for saying.
It's good that they have talked about it because the name of the organization itself is talking about young women, not old women. It's for young women, it's not for old women. The old women, we are there to guide them, but they own it. So for them to actually sit down and say, how can we bring back, how can we make our young generation become interested in YWCA? To actually take a full 7 days to talk about, I am really impressed. I do hope that it will not change and it will continue that way as we go on with the convention.
Same way so, YWCA can use this convention for elect the new executive. We're going to manage the day-to-day affair of the association. Usai, the new national president for YWCA, Millicent Fonny, they make this commitment to the association after when they don't elect and induct in any executive member then.
My vision for the association first is to bring anonymous among the members, to bring unity, because for coming as a leader, there are so many issues in the organization that I want to handle first, and all other things will follow later. And in the first 100 days of mine is to travel to the up-country, to the provinces, where we have all the YWCA branches, to go and speak to the women there, to tell them about the essence of being the YWCA member and never to let go of your dream, to stand as a woman and as a youth or as a young woman to speak your voice, no matter the intimidation that will come your way.
Millicent Fonny and for call on YWCA member them for make sure say they come together and work with them for push skill training among young women them as way for empower them for better society. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Nina Sonia Bell, they report.
From the report, the program Good Morning Salon, they continue. And as we mentioned earlier today, Salon done 65 years. We'll look at the progress, challenge, and the way forward. For can help we discuss the issues there, we get now the program, the presidential spokesperson, we Alpha Khan. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning, Musa. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, people, and happy Independence Anniversary. 65 years hence.
And also we get now the program Abdul Karim Kamara from the All People's Congress Publicity Wing. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Good morning, Salon. Good morning, Musa. Good morning, everybody.
Salon at 65 years today, we can look at progress, challenges, and also look at the way forward. But I come to the presidential spokesman. I want Poli likely to be this morning on Independence Day. Alpha can be the way Salon gain independence.
First of all, the eve of Independence Day, that is 26th April 1961. I've been in a primary school in the evening. about 3 o'clock. Then soldier they wait and send from Freetown for go march past for you on Independence Day. They been cook boku for the young people, them picking them. So we were there that evening. Then they teach me how to sing the national anthem. Then they give me a top for it. Now Potloko, my SLC school. That was where I was. But on Independence Day, we joined the soldier man them as school children. We get a school band then, the SLC school. I think every school get band, even primary schools. We don't wear a uniform and all that. With me, they batch behind the soldier them. They go around the town celebrating independence. And after that, we all congregate at the town field beside the paramount chief and the other people. Then we take the salute. And then we see that day that the flags don't change from the Union Jack to the green, white, and blue. And every Sierra Leonean felt proud. They say, now we did run with chef.
I they come to other studio guests on Independence Day when Salon get independence. So you mean why laughing?
You obviously know the answer.
I also get to ask me co-presenter who said me the independence.
I know you know the answer already. These are the beauty and least where I always they share platform with me, Papa. That time I wasn't born. I wasn't born at all. But history don't be so kind to me that I able to read them exactly in our books.
Okay. So I come to Alpha Khan, the presidential spokesman.
The books we didn't read.
No.
We wrote the script.
I come to you, Alpha Khan.
Yeah.
1961 to this, 65 years down the line, how you can describe Saloon, a nation at a crossroads, or a nation that has developed, or a nation we still grapple from independence to date?
Well, first of all, we start with the population explosion. In 1961, we talk Sierra Leone's population was around 2 million, 2.1 million at that time. So now, 65 years later, we are 8.5 million people, which means we don't add by about 5.4 million people. It don't show say the much that we will be get for feed at that time, it don't increase by almost 5 to 6 times. So it means that the production rate we've been there at that time, we've been the oil field, say Sierra Leone was food self-sufficient at that time. We've been food self-sufficient. They produce enough rice in the Wala area, in the Bundapi area, in the Tomabom area. Enough for even this rice mill, this flour mill on I see today, na be rice mill. They bring that rest, they come to Freetown. They mill them, they ship them to the coasts. The other country they have been there along the coast downwards, that is from Ghana now to Nigeria, this and that. We've been the same rest there. We've been the exports rice at that time, 1961 to 64, 65, I believe. And then, of course, that don't increase. But then, at that time, the literacy rate was about 15% in 1961. And sorry, not the literacy rate. The enrollment of children in school at that time was about 15%. You know, so a lot of people not be able to go. Wait and do. One of the main reasons for that is that school at that time, they pay for them. You get forget money for send you picking go school. At that time, if you get 5 picking something, 1 or 2 they able to go school. The other one they tell them say una go work in a farm, they will pay for the other one. That is what happened to our fathers. My papa, I've been the eldest of about 6 children, plus the other cousin there and all that. Now about 12 people in the house, young people, right? Women, they forget it. The auntie, they don't go to school because they know they allow them to go to school. Because 1, when you know they, and 2, they believe, say, the woman's place, not the kitchen. But they would then pay for this person, in go school. Then at the end of the day, when he come, he begin teach or do something, he go uplift the rest of the family. And that is what happened. So the enrollment rate, picking the way they go to school, about that time, about 15%. But today, with the free education, is 150% enrollment increase since that time. So you don't see, say, the access to education at that time. The main controller then, not to cultural, not to social, now economic, now for pay the school fees. At that time, we'll be begin go school now 8 shillings and 4 pence. We'll be pay 84 cents in Leon terms, which is less than 1 Leon. But plenty of people not able to go to school because of that. So you see, say, if that free education be known there at that time, by now we say for them they at a level where we say for we don't call. But we see the difference between us and Singapore. Singapore at the time, 1961, Sierra Leone, same level of development. Exactly the same level, same GDP, same everything. But what did they do? When Lee Kuan Yew, the first prime minister, came, the first thing we put hand pan is in education. Education and discipline. And at that time, they make sure see everybody, then they make sure see, although you get Chinese, you get Malay, you get Indians in there. They said, because we are now going into a global situation, let all man talk English. Let all man speak English so that we country will be attractive to investors. They will kind of we could spend the money now, will become a hub for business. That is what they did. They paid attention to education, raised them literacy level to from almost 15% at the time when they talk, so about 90%. And then you can see today the difference between Sierra Leone and all that. You know, the trigger for that, not been the education. But now we serve no offender one day. We don't try now for put free education. So I go say we have turned a new page. I just give you the example. Education at that time, only 15%. That means if you get 100 Pekin, now the country at that time, 15 they go school. That's because the people that make money. The Western area was different. Because here, the people that have been there, they came from Western educational background, and then can introduce the churches, and they increase the missions, and they increase the evangelism. So, of course, they get for teach picking them, at least for read the Bible and all that. So, in the Western area, people then be able for land. That is why you have today a highest literacy rate. So, as you can see, now we've moved to about 150% increase in enrollment. So really, the limiting factor that you they make people not go to school, and that money in the pool now pocket for the in day, 8 shillings and 4 pence. But you go sell pineapple for make the way they call them.
You mentioned some of the things. So you talk about population growth. You talk about enrollment of the kingdom in school and other factors. There, the question will come to mind. At that time, you think as a nation will not be fully prepared for independence, because when you gain independence, you completely don't become independent and manage your own affairs. You think at that time will not be fully prepared as a nation for actually adjust to whatever situation we get for calm midway after we gain independence?
Well, that is a misnomer and an injustice to we own existing traditional systems we've been there. Before the white man came, now this country, there was a country. Maybe it was not called Sierra Leone. Maybe it was called Ghana. Maybe it was called Mali. It was part of Songhai. But these now been kingdoms then. We get their own government systems. We get their own administrative systems. They get their own economic systems. We're fully independent. Don't forget, before colonial times, around the 1300s, 400, 500, 600 years ago, 700 years ago, the richest man in this world was from this area, Mali. Sierra Leone was part of the empire of Mali under Mansa Musa and Tetidi and Toxi. All the money we don't get money today, including Elon Musk, when you put the whole money together. Compare with waiting Mansa Musa being get at that time when Africa was independent, being subject to colonial misdirection and all that. We were the richest people. People came here to trade. People came here to buy and took things, and then they came here to learn. Of course, at that time, education be also there. Timbuktu had a university in 1300 at that time. So Africa not being who are independent, the what you call I would call it gangsterism, where they can take over we own government systems, kill we cultures, then kill we traditions and things like that, impose their own form of government into us. Who will not be no? Naim we go beyond. Yes, we were prepared for that. So when they left, it was now then difficult for make we transition from Usaobinde for go back to Usaobinde. For then left with Usaobinde. So we are caught in the middle, in limbo between African systems and the system of the European that we then bring camp. Now we they learn. So 65 years we are still learning. So I think we were prepared at that time. The only thing is that the subject that we then put in front of we fit the syllabus.
Alpha Khan, in summary, post-independence saloon and present saloon, which one better?
Post-independent, I mean pre-independent.
Pre-independent
Pre-independent Sierra Leone, well, pre-independent Sierra Leone, I can only talk, like he said, from history books like which they talk about. So, not so, at that time, pre-independence, we were liberal, we were on our own, and all that. People were happy, living in their villages and all that, until the white man come with and can begin impose all sorts of things, will lead to the hot tax where we Billy host, they say you for pay for them, for let they go. So for me, I cannot say much about pre-independence. I can say post-independence, because in 1961, how old was I? I was about 9 years old, you know. So now from that, I could say me now.
1961 to present day Salone, which one better, from your estimation?
Well, first of all, I don't tell you, educationally, today better. I don't tell you, say, now 15%, Peking, they no more be able to go to school. So that is a plus already for, say, the country, whatever happens, with the difficulty with the which man they introduced by way, full sweep for land, they're free. But don't forget, to the universities I talked about in those days, they were free. Timbuktu was a free university, because at that time, they call Peking and Aileke, when I can't learn and all that sort of thing. Those books are still there. Now, pre-independence, of course, food be much more, because the population was smaller. There are less mouths to feed. But now we have 5.5 million more don't add into it. So it's much more difficult. And not to all man they work. In those days, you been get the vassal system. We get them them, where they be then Karmokona them village, you understand? Where you take picking them, boku picking them for can land them Al-Quran. That they take them, they are also workers. They go to the farms every morning and then come back in the evening and can learn the Quran. So everybody was involved in production, and production for just subsistence. So life was better at that time, because food not be so scarce. But now that we don't come with home transition from local production, more or less, to depend on importation from other side. So you're now exposed to exogenous shocks. All them things the way they happen today, and they affect the price and all that. Chinese man, they go work, plant rest. We in a salon, a black man, I want life for can't eat them. It cost me a lot of money for let Chinese man, wait man, go now outside, go plant rest, he bring come, he can give me for it. That is it for now. I will say we are trying to grow out of that dependency through the Feed Salon program. We present. You don't bring up for it.
Continue for the week in the program. In name Alaji Alpha Kanu, presidential spokesman. We come over to the other studio guests. We Abdul Karim Kamara, member of the APC publicity wing. You don't listen to Alpha Khan. We asked you the same question we posed to Alpha Khan earlier. Salone, they celebrate 65 years of independence. How you go describe Sierra Leone at 65?
My description will be very succinct. I would describe Sierra Leone as a country we don't see the bad, we don't see the good, and we don't see the ugly. And this again a condition dependent on different regimes and different presidents. And it's deliberate when I say Sierra Leone don't see the good, the bad, the ugly. And all this I can peg them on situation, and my analysis get for be situational. When I say Sierra Leone don't see the good, I'll tell you Sierra Leone see the good immediately post-independence, and to some extent in the reigns of President Kuruma. That is when Sierra Leone notice some elements of the good. Then when I say Sierra Leone don't see the bad, currently as it is, in the hands of my Papa Sidonaya, are the bad with the witness. And if I tell you, say Sierra Leone don't see the ugly, I will tell you, say when Nkaki boys they come for us out, Joseph Saido Momo, which rebellion, then go turn rebels, so that they can fight this country, devastate this country, retire this country, correct, back to the gutters. That was when Australians really see the ugly. So I'm so careful when I came here this morning, and I put this into 3 thematic areas that Australians don't see the good, we don't see the bad, and we don't see the ugly. Now, and the good. Prior to this time, and my Papa can serve me rights now, because I tend to, we don't born me yet. Sierra Leone did enjoy what we call the finesse of Sierra Leone being colonized by the United Kingdom, when the head of state and head of government by then was placed in the hands of the monarch. And thus, the monarch was just represented in this country by the prime minister, or whatever we call, say, the governor. He was the direct representation of the governor. And that was why in Sierra Leone, we will enjoy what we call the indirect rule. Understand, this is government 001. Because we be there under colonialism, we will not be able to rule we set, and the mammy or the queen we for run rule we not the saloon. They rule we indirectly through governors. And during that time, the papa that was born we tell we say that shillings and pounds will be used in this country. And Australia and the UK, it just like where they say tomorrow they go Guinea. There was development. Cost of living wasn't a challenge. Like how my papa they try to put on so finally. But it was not really like that. We get the best universities in this country. And the first in Africa, Fabi College, he would testify to that fact. We get the best communication outlet in Australia, SLBC, the first in the sub-Saharan. We come out there, we get the best hospital in Australia, Oladurin Hospital. These are all colonial heritage. For telling you, the entire West Africa be the Camp Sierra Leone for Kalan book. He knows that. So relatively, immediately post-colonialism, wow, Sierra Leone was thriving well. People in this country be the fly for go overseas for go study. The likes of Davis Nicol, to name but a few. Shaka Stevens, Milton Magai, Albert Magai, so many of them. Everybody be just for go overseas for go learn. It was like you just get the opportunity or you got the willingness, you can go and learn. It wasn't as cumbersome as it is now today. Where today, Guinea self the deport we now. Where today, America self don't blacklist we now. Where today, even England now we colonize we they deny we visa for go England. In the hands of these bad guys. So
you can attribute that to any single political party or individual?
That is where I'm coming now. When I'm coming to discuss us Israeli don't see the bad. In the hands of these guys, the SLPP, now they will see Sierra Leone as it is now contemporarily. You know Sierra Leone then blacklist in America? You know that as journalists? Can that be a breaking news this morning? No, it's not a breaking news. You know that. We are blacklisted. Visas are denied. Our people are deported. In the hands of these guys. It happened as recent as when these guys are in administration. What is it Australia is celebrating today? Musa, you sleep with light yesterday. I'm putting you on the spotlight. See how Sierra Leone did right now when they drive for Camna 98.1? I almost wept. This is not the country I was born into. This is not the country I grew to understand. Why is it now changing suddenly? Instead of for the positive, we're retiring for the negative. See Australian Day. Anybody, no need for make them tell you against Australian, really know they sound well. Imagine if you're not a health expert, you get possibly sick at this point, you'll be left with nothing but for tell in God or in what? For say, let's put we faith to God, in chances of survival, it's 50-50. It can survive, it can survive. This is how Sierra is at the moment. Okay.
Yes. So in summary, you go apportion this blame on single individual or single political party.
Yes.
For all the miserable salon don't go through since independence.
And that was exactly what I will try for next.
And who that single individual?
That would be the SLPP government.
So I can describe the
then Albert Magai, Samilti Magai. 0.5% to former President Kaba, and now 95.2% to President Julius Maada Bio.
So for you, the SLPP are the response for the
worst ever Australian ever witnessed. The oldest political party in the sub-Saharan, the oldest party in Sierra Leone that is older than even Sierra Leone, but are the worst government ever in the history of Sierra Leone. They are the worst enemies of the state.
Now, when the presidential spokesman he talk about before this time, we get food self-sufficiency. We get literacy rates being high. Of course, we self don't read Salon being get pipe-borne water across the country, and train service being there, airstrips them being there across the country,
That
and
was
also we get
meals.
Yes, after that, the APC and SLPP now they rule this country.
That is
Why is the portion now on SLPP?
Okay, Musa, this is history 001. Let us take it now by leadership. And my father here can testify to the greatest of extent. Immediately, post-colonialism was who? Samilti Magai. I will rate him 20% because just after colonialism independence, although he was not able to give us total independence because the Republican Constitution came in 1971. Do you know that? And that was Shaka Stevens. So with Albert Samilti Magai, it was truly an independent state, but we were still not a Republican state. We were not still made a republic. Try to understand this. And so Sierra Leone became a republic, like what they say, the Republic of Sierra Leone, free from all colonial infringement, free from all intervention of the monarch. It was done by who? Shaka Problem Stephen, and better perfected by Joseph Saidu Momo in the 1991 Constitution.
Okay.
This history 001.
Okay.
Now, let me, please, let me just take off. And so immediately post-colonialism, when Samuel Timbide, relatively, it just continued with waiting already be done day. So there's very little or nothing he brought on board. Rather, he tried to maintain waiting colonial masters that already been done left, although during in tenure, so many things begin for get breakdown. Now, fast forward, in Young Brother take over. That was when Sierra Leone can begin to see the sharp contrast between development and retrogression. Now, when Albert Magai came, instead of it continue or maintain the legacy we with man and on left, and we waiting in Brother left small, it come with intimidation and political strangulation. What he can do, he enacts the 1965 Public Order Act with the sole intent for stifle opposition voices, continue to forget total state capture, and make sure say it makes Sierra Leone as if na in no more, therefore listen and hear.
Quick one, Abdul Karim, before we go to the other studio guest. The APC party came into governance in 1968. Of course, the election will take place in 1967. But a lot of minute coups upon minute coups. Yeah. But Shaka Stephen be finally sworn in as Prime Minister in 1968.
Correct.
From 1968, the APC take governance, the reign of governance. How you go describe the APC party under the one-party system?
This was the only time in the in Sierra Leone that Sierra Leone noticed development.
Under the one-party system?
Under the one-party system. This was the only time now you can realize, say, with Sierra Leone has already left again for go overseas, for go be medical doctors. Joseph Saidu Momo brought in the College of Medicine. He knows that. I'm putting him to strict proof. This was the only time Sierra Leoneans, they want to be lawyers again, not go again overseas for go be lawyers, for go train in England and train in the King's Inn. What did Joseph Saidu Momo do? He brought in the Australian Law School.
But under the one-party system, many scholars describe, say, in terms of the country economy, under the one-party system, the economy fall.
This is what I'm telling you. That's a school of thought. But what is the reality is this? We cannot bank on realities as against individual schools of thought. Let us go objective and not subjective. Now, I give you tangibles. That prior to this time, everything you want, you get to fly out of this country for go be who that you want to be. You want to be an engineer, you want to be a medical doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be an accountant, you have to fly out of the country. But Joseph Saidu Momo and his 1991 constitution and in his reigns, as president of the republic, he brought in all these things. He said, you know what? Let we not go to fly again for go out. Let we can be we own people. What was that? He started to train ourselves. We started to take in our future in our own hands. We started to making sure that nobody know they make Sierra Leone pass way. Look at the infrastructural edifice. When you talk about every infrastructural edifice in this country, primarily what defines Sierra Leone was achieved in the one-party state of regime of Shaka Problem Stevens.
You talk of political strangulation, you talk of bad governance, you talk of other things, and where you say a lot will happen during the reign of the SLPP immediately
And Albert Magai.
after independence.
And now more evident.
But when you go,
President
when the
Bio's
country transition to a one-party system, we see some of them things here so they exist to a point that you see political oppositions that become silent, the media become silent also, and all of that other things that maybe they happen, where many people describe, according to history, saying that be one of the darkest system in Sierra Leone history at that time.
So now, in Temne, there is this proverbial saying that you have to look at the ray of the sun or how the day looks like before you get into the journey. You understand what I mean? I clearly accelerate before my one ula. You look at how the circumstance of the day is before you embark on the journey. What am I trying to say? If the APC, listen, conditional clause, if the APC under Shaka Stephen was able to maintain this country under one party state and do what he able to do so, who prepared the platform? My father can answer that question in the affirmative that it is them, the SLPP, Albert Magai, that prepared the entire platform. He set the entire system. Now he say APC can't continue. And so, it is not me we can ace the pieces na the water. Now for look the one we dock the pieces na the water. So it was the SLPP. So if they say it was dark, it was bad, it was them that created the platform. Only way we do, listen, Musa, only way we do, we deny for continue that trajectory or that trajectory of the dark and bad intent, and we can do what was good and it was done in good faith. What did we do? We maintain, say, indeed, although they get very difficult and shenanigan plans for the country, although they get difficult and bad intention for the country, they can take a one-party system, but with intention for be good faith and Sierra Leone first.
And
so what we did,
you think it's a one-party system that would governance?
and we did it. It was successful in this country, as opposed to the multi-party we are enjoying now under the reins of SLPP. In fact, if you look at a comparative analysis, the APC's one-party system and President Bio's now multi-party democracy, there is hardly a thin line you can draw. Because there is no distinction. The strangulation of opposition, please listen, my brother. The strangulation of opposition voices and dissent voices, it happened in the one-party states. It's now evident than any other time before. The intimidation of opposition and passing very obnoxious laws, all in the intent for make you strangulate opposition and dissent in the one-party states, by then under Shaka Stephen, is now prevalent than any other time before. Now when we say we get multi-party democracy, comparison how to do so, what you say in English you say compare and contrast. Now, when you talk about silencing institutions and total state capture, we be there in the one-party state of Shaka Stevens, now a more prevalent now than any other time before. Now listen, when you talk about one-party system, you listen, say, there is no opportunity given to civil society organizations, to critical voices. Not so. Now, in multi-party democracy in the hands of President Bio, which civil society is able to talk against President Bio. Edmond Abu, you want to talk about fuel price, he tell you, say, me, I need to talk again, not to be angry for talk. When something happened, just not, I'm angry to go suffer. Zainab Sharif talk, he did 4 years, 2 months imprisonment. Lawyer Lansana Dumboya talk, he did past stand trial. Other opposition voices, journalists, and others are afraid to ask in the critical questions. Because if not, as a common I just know, somebody will call you from the powers of the board. Why would I allow AKK talk like I talk so? But this is how it's happening now.
But honestly,
so you're beginning to realize that
me presenting democracy program for almost from 2019 to date. I know when they come under say no ask this, no ask this. I always get freedom for ask.
Maybe you've been a guest person.
No,
and maybe you are just
giving testimony. No. Just nobody no regulator here for do.
If you ask other colleagues of yours, they will tell you a different story. I don't want you to bring yourself into the picture. But
I'm just saying yes. Okay.
It might be your own case, and maybe you get a special spot in their own heart. But I'll tell you that journalists are afraid of asking questions. One, you know what did happen with Thomas Dixon? You saw how many people are not intimidated because of asking fearless questions. You saw how many journalists that are not intimidated. There's so many out
So
there.
we
I don't want to name names.
we can look at the way forward. I come to the presidential spokesman. We don't listen to you co-panelists on issues them we don't raise up as opposition member na the country on the country independence and some of the things them where it thinks say they happen now. You don't listen and you don't get the first bite. What do you now you take on waiting AKK make mention of say the SLPP now they're responsible for Usai Saloon de so now the backwardness of this country.
Thank you very much. I hope so you will give me enough time like I am. And please don't interrupt me. I've been feeling we can have to talk about how Sierra Leone is progressing. Not be no say a political debate when I bring calm. And I know say most of the things this young man was saying, not correct. In fact, he just indicts the party when me come up and more. He talked about the railway. Before 1968, we get train where they run from Hill Station through bus station now, we call it, to Kisi, to Waterloo, to Songo, to Bawea, Rotifunk, Bo, Kenema, Hanga, Tego Pendembo. 300 miles of railway. 10, 15 wagons. They draw food and things coming into Freetown. The APC come, they remove them. They not only remove them, then pull the rails, sell them. He knows that. Shouldn't not been born yet. These are the painful things that have happened to the development of Sierra Leone. You talk about a one-party state. That's been the most violent period of Sierra Leone. To the extent that I hope you not been bringing this calm. Because don't forget, say, Akomo APC. And some of these things, although we did it, they pain we. Because me day, just after independence, when Sir Milton Magai was Prime Minister, this country, if you want £1 of sterling money for England, now 2 leons they give. 2 leons. If you want $1 at that time, at 75 cents, you know you reach 1 leon safe. Forget that. Why was that? At that time, our exports, they make sure, say, the money comes back and goes into the national coffers. When the one-party state came, there was no opposition. You talk about this rates of devaluation of the currency and all that. All started in 1980. Where Shaka Stephen insists say one for be chairman of ECOWAS. Nobody know for stop him. We been get at the time only $29 million of foreign reserves. Only 29 million. And now we for finance all of the project. I wish you not been talking about it here. For them picking away born, no been born, let them know what happened. $29 million only we had. The governor advised, Governor S.L. Bangura, he said, let we not do this. We cannot afford it. He said the country will go bankrupt. You know something? When he insisted, when the OAU came, he not been in this world again for witness him. We still went ahead. At that time, the leon be linked to the pound sterling. As I tell you, I just know. £1 are 2 leons. When we go to England in 1973, I reached the airport. I get 40 leons. I change an airport and give me £20 sterling. 40 leons. Now they can please do not interrupt me. You gave him enough time. No, I don't beg you. No, I don't beg you. I beg you. No, I beg you. Just give me enough time. Let me self-explain. I beg you. Do not interrupt me, Adeyemi. I did not come here for a political discussion. But he has turned it into that. And I am the wrong person for him to challenge because I know both sides. That is the point. I know both sides. And I was born before you. And I cannot, please. I did not interfere. I did not interfere. No, I am the wrong person. I'm not intimidating him. I am the wrong person. I would belong to the APC at the time. I belong to the SLPP. I was born before independence and a day, 30 days after independence. So I know most of the things that happened. So until the 1980 where they talk about, you've not been born yet. When I come home in 1980, I go buy Niva, a ladder in 1983, Niva ladder. Brand new, 5,000 leon. Another time, I go buy a second-hand car and a Rio Motors, VW. 3,000 leons. Then put petrol back and then give me. Today with 3,000 leons, I'm not able to buy tire. Because of what happened in 1980. Then the link we from the pound sterling, then put people waiting a basket of floating currencies. And when I say float, you just they fly, they go. And that means the inflation just they rise. That is why we are today. The dollar don't be what it be. If we be not listen to waiting the governor, then the economic manager of the country, if we don't do that, we will not come to this situation. Okay. There was a time when people they come out Guinea for camp, Sierra Leone. Then they make party for them. Then they follow and take reach Balamuya. Then they say, and they go England. This was what they called England for them. May I eat England in Fula. When then Senegalese they come, they say, Mangi them Angleterre. I am going to England. The Sierra Leone name they call so. Because of the management of the economy at that time. Then what happened? The Selection Trust, we took it. And turned it into National Diamond Mining Company. We managed it. For them. Okay. Now they come. The mines. No, please. No, please, please, please. You see, give me fairness. You gave this young man nearly 15 minutes for making talk. I was that time in you. So never forgive me that time, I beg. And I not come for discuss politics. I come for talk about progress. That's where I started.
We did look at progress, but we look at who we come out.
Okay, well, who we come out now? We come out now. They tell you so. The main problem we start in Sierra Leone at the railway station, where people not able to come up line again with their goods for building camp at cheaper prices. There were no roads. So if you talk about how this country suffered politically, socially, and economically, the two parties don't run this country for 65 years. Of those 65 years, APC don't rule for 37. SLPP, about 28 or something like that. So you see, then don't they, we don't do, we have been doing we've been doing it for longer than this party we did right now. And as I don't tell you no more, progress of a country is measured by the human capital development. You talk about Furabi College. Yes, it was here before colonial times. You understand? But don't forget, say, when people let me not begin for the land, who said what? The presidents have said, when they say Bailo Barry, he said David C. Nicol. That is a disincentive for children, for land book. Say, go take diamond. Go sell that it instead of going to school. So these are the kind of things that affected Sierra Leone. So this president today is trying to return that. Say the human capital development, now the basis for development. I just gave you the example of Singapore. Now education bring them to Saudi. So what I try to say is that I know can I have for dissect, but we call I want to look at forward looking. For me, it's a new page. I want us to turn to a new page. Now that's I come for.
AKK mentioned earlier, so some of the things that will be don't happen under the one-party system still they exist under this current leadership. You know the presidential spokesman of this, the president. Mm-hmm. You think say progress don't be made since the SLPP came into governance
in terms of democracy,
in terms of development and general.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. There is a lot of progress at the moment. I don't tell you, say we have scaled 2 pandemics. The Ebola and the COVID. The Ebola, we managed it. We lost 3,800 people because of weak health systems. and the kind of policies we took at the beginning. COVID, which was more virulent, we lost only 121 people because of the leadership in approach to handling pandemics. And this was global. Everybody in the world was suffering from this. So everybody in your own health systems were stretched. Ours were stretched also. So you needed that preventive measures we President Bill put there. We help with. When people were dying, up to 1 million people in America, we are 121. Italy, in the China Street. In France, all over the world, we are 121 people. It's still a large number, but we're happy at least it didn't get any worse. So the kind of approach where leaders they take. The first independence leader we will get, Sir Albert, my guy, was to try and introduce systems we could help with for let this country grow.
Okay.
But at that time, that's we get shops like PZ. You no need for go England for go buy shirts. Everything they brought it here. Who they put local? Who they put local small? Well, begin teach now. I want a shirt from Langfields in England. They go to the post office and they pay Leons. 2 Saturdays later in the Brian Canami house. This was happening here in this country during those periods. But when we come, we close PZ. We close CFAO. And these companies are still operating in Ghana and Nigeria. Kingsway. They're not here anymore. They're approaching there. So let me tell you something. We try to say we go nationalize, but we couldn't manage. Say let we introduce NTC, National Trading Company. It collapsed because we're not able to run them. Now in make today, all traders they go buy these sell high want. Before prices were controlled. If you want to buy radio now at the same price you buy an account.
They can go for a break. But in terms of you talk about democracy and good governance, and AKK make mention of media and political pressure. Most times journalists them under the government don't they report about intimidation, harassment, and also they don't they accuse regulatory bodies of bias. How you can talk about that with the examples them we don't mention of people we don't go behind bars because of saying things them we think saying are the right for talk.
Let me tell you something. The freedom of speech is much more today than it was. First of all,
why people behind bars?
Why people behind bars? If you commit a crime, you go behind bars. There are laws here. There's a rule of law. The ones that you're talking about, not because of freedom of speech, it's because of incitement. And that is what was said. You can make a freedom of speech, but you don't threaten anybody. You see that happening in England. So law left that one day. But for the freedom of speech, do you have any journalists in jail? Incarcerated? No. The president removed the 1965 criminal libel law. He removed it. And then he also removed the death penalty, where people they use for people and they use for intimidate opponents.
This thing where you mention of incitement, we they see people from across the board, when are the ruling party members, when they make same statements, then they go scot-free. They can always point to Kadiru Kaikai and always point to the resident minister then Makena Abu Abdullah Kurma. Then make a statement them way compared to what Zainab they make and what other people make, but then they behind bars and then they go work free.
There are levels of approach to anything. So the ones that you see that they've been criminalized, not because they won't pass the threshold. Okay. I don't decide that. I don't decide that. Okay. It is the law that decides that. So, but if you keep to the laws, nobody will incriminate you, incarcerate you.
Continue for the routine of the program. In name Alhaji Alpha Kano, presidential spokesman. As today, we will look at the country in 65 years of independence, and we also get Abdul Karim Kamara, where we go come to over, where they present the APC publicity wing. The program Good Morning Salon, the continue inside the program now. We will go for this break.
Cecil, do you know any sharp user I go able get quality laptop or desktop computer for buy? When I go give me wahala like the last one?
Aisha, you see this Dell computer na me hand? It don't pass 8 years. from where I begin use am. E no one day give me problem. Na Palestino International in shop, na 5 and 6 Gloucester Street, na they I buy am. Not to copyright Palestino they sell, na original. You see this me plasma TV, this Samsung home theater, me standing fan and mobile phone. Every day when you see them, it's like a new one. They don't pass 8 years na me hand. Palestino don't open Palestino International Computer Shop na 3 Bojon Street Bow. Also you they get all kind computer for buy. For more, just call 076 56 5432 077805898. Palestino International in Computer Shop. All team day for you.
Bloomberg Digital Banking don't come for we.
I said so. You look stressed so.
Na bank they run go so.
Miss sister, go digital.
Digital?
Yes, with Bloomberg Digital Banking. Just tap, click, swipe and send money, receive money, check your balance, pay your bills and get quick loans before Jacko cuts your eye.
But Abula fly.
Well, bring your phone.
Na so easy and quick.
Yes, with Bloomberg Digital, you can bank with freedom any side na the world. Your money is safe and secure. Also, you can do business and transfer money instantly by your currency across Africa. Quick one with Colats.
Wow! As from today, call me Aisatu Bloomberg Digital.
Aha! Aisatu Bloomberg Digital.
Yes, na me name. I dey go tell all me party them for join Bloomberg Digital Banking.
Bingo! Waiting you dey wait for. Go ahead and download our digital banking app from Google Play Store and Apple Store or visit any of our branches for further details. For no more, you can visit our website, bloombankafrica.com.
No left piano, cause Bloomberg Digital they make you bank
with Colats. Bloombank Africa. Let's make it happen.
Kano Immigration and Visa Services is your best service provider to travel to Canada on study, work, or pleasure. We can facilitate your visa process, work permits, express entry program, family sponsorship, Canadian school admissions, Canadian citizenship, self-employed persons program, and many more. Come to us at 28 Walpole Street, Siaka Stephen Street, Freetown, or reach us via email at info@canoimmigration.com or via 075-143-299. For more information, go to www.canoimmigration.com. We are at your service.
Good morning, Salon. They continue and they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and we will bring to the edition. My name is Adeyemi Jackson.
And Musa Kamana Minim.
Inside the program, we still look at the country's 65 years of independence. Also, some people them are free tongue dog is concerned about the current condition of the country and waiting then the hope for in the future as Salon celebrates 65 years of independence. Then people are talk. This is our interview with Radio Democracy. We then be they talk about plenty challenge them where the country they face. Then talk more to reporter Fenela Edith Staunton inside this interview.
Well, independence, because you observe them, but things are hard, things are not easy. I would pray to God, let country, let it day, appointing for the citizens.
As a citizens of this country, I don't want to start by raising comparison between parties. But I think, say Salon celebrating 65 years, I think, say we get much for do as a country. Government in, government out, we mean say the APC, SLPP way, done they rule this country, but I think, say we still get much for do. So most times I can ask myself, say at 65, what can we point out, say, that this we don't able for do as a country. At 65, we still get electricity challenge in this particular country. At 65 years of independence, we still depend on donors' support for actually we want we country. At 65, we still get challenges with water business. At 65, we still get challenge with healthcare. So I think, say, it's not about celebrating the independence. It's about where are we 65 years where we don't get independence. I think, say, for me, both governments, government in, government out, APC, SLPP, there has not been that much when it comes to looking at the country where we decide for address some of we things and the issues that we're in at the country. So for me, celebrating these 65 years, what are they asked for most and that what is happening? What things don't change? Are there new things who don't change? But for me, I don't say I'm saying I don't the same thing.
At 65 means you don't retire, they don't add 5 years. Where somebody retire, meaning you don't achieve all what you don't achieve. But I'm not going to say in the case of Sierra Leone, you not achieve, but there are lots for make to do back, for cover up for the 65 years. There are lots for make to do. So the 65 years not mean nothing to we. They know they reflect on the citizens yet.
We all know say 65 now a big age. And I'm so grateful for witness, this new independence way with the cat 65. I believe say we go get there one day. And as we all see 65 not to begin age, as I said before, we also get for try one way or the other, for bring Sierra Leone at the map. Nobody stop for the cry, Sierra Leone down every day. They say anything where you mouth talk, now whether good or bad, if not good, now a blessing, if not bad, it drop the country. So we all get hope, and we continue to push the country before.
As a citizen, say where we brace up, we come together because it's not a virgin country, and there is more for do for make lift this country to a higher height.
Well, from then the voice then one of the studio guests in the left way, and also for come to AKK, but when they come to the presidential spokesman, I see the try for left way in the studio. What's in the way forward in the area of national development and growth?
Thank you very much. For let this country go before, everybody when a citizen or resident of Sierra Leone get for work together, for let push the country. We should have one agenda, and that agenda should be Sierra Leone. The recriminations from the past and things like that, they're gone. Yesterday is gone. Today is dying. Tomorrow now important. Now we wait for. So we appeal to everybody, including the APC where I come off from. Let's start looking at Sierra Leone as one country. If we look at Sierra Leone as one country, we work together. And then after elections, let us come together. Oh, they play football. Eh? We don't care, we don't beat Lions from Babure Warriors. Don't beat Lions. After that game, they come back, we play with them and all that. And we move on. We must move on. You don't carry that grudge for 5 years. Every day you are on politics and all that. So what time do you do? They spend more time politicking than producing. So I am asking them, let us work together. Now that the elections are behind us and another set is in front of us, 2 years to go, these 2 years where President Bio get, let we all come together. And he has good ideas. President Bio say, he say this country, the best way for let we do, now for let all come together. I'm asking them. The government of national unity is what Sheikh Stephen had before, but he made it a one party. But this one, an all-party President Bill, they suggest. If the all parties come together, sit at the table, we decide, nobody go talk, say, they shortchange them. So the people always say, Sierra Leone at 65, let we see how we go improve. I agree with you. But Sierra Leone is not really 65. The first time this country was called Sierra Leone, now 1462. That is over 500-600 years ago. All right? So it is, if you talk about Sierra Leone as a country, it's over 600 years. Now, the game-changing period of 1787, where the English come, and then 1885 or 1887, when they become a crown colony, we begin now the waka. For let we work like how England they work, for let we eat like how each man they eat, for let we cook like how each man they cook. It was a whole game changer. Now, in reverse way, because we get for drop what we sabi, learn new things. And then after 1961, then left way back, for let we go back. So, with the one way we don't forget them, the one way they can't teach we don't sabi and good. So now, the first thing we want to do today, now for let we work together, not to recriminate. Because if we really talk, I want to be very fair, under the APC, this country will suffer a lot more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Presidential Spokesman Alpha Khan, CD Lefwi, the studio plans. Thank you for joining me at the edition of the program. Good morning, Salon. And we still get Abdul Karim Kamara from the APC Publicity Wing. He with me in the studio. Salon at 65 since independence 1965. What's the way forward for national development and growth?
They really feel when my dad missed the dates. Sierra Leone became a crown colony in 1808. I can understand, say, really, he's now getting older and age is telling on him. His accuracy, they falter to some extent. And yes, I acknowledge the fact say he was born before independence, and he don't see independence, and he still dey live. But again, one thing we go shy from is that he's aging, and so the way be sharp and now not to the same again anymore. But as a country, now what are we really celebrating? This is the question I want to pose to every Sierra Leonean out there listening to me. We don't solve the problem of education. The answer is no. We don't solve the problem of energy. The answer is no. We don't solve the problem of health. The answer is no. We don't solve the problem of social security. The answer is no. We don't solve the problem of the provision of basic amenities, i.e. water, pure pipe-borne water, good road network. The answer is no. So the question I will ask is, what is it as a nation can we earmark that at this particular point we have succeeded in doing one thing? Nothing, absolutely. And one thing that saddens me to the most, that for the third year consecutively in President Bio in second term, we as a nation not able to point at anything Odo able to achieve for the second term and in dispensation. Rather, for every time we get a presser from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, say the president on direct say the independence celebration therefore be quiet, moderate, and be born or be subjected to reflection. So what many man say muasa, when many man say muasangwe, meaning we don't left everything I'll give God. Like when you say you don't lost trust, muasa. It simply means we don't lost trust, we don't lost sense, we don't get nothing again what they do. We just wait for God's intervention now. And this is the point, President. You don't
So what's in the way forward in all of this?
The way forward is that, firstly, for make you able to get a way forward, the possible to provide leadership for be born with so many vision that to every challenge, it gets a route for make you go out of that challenge. But when the person they provide leadership for you, you understand, eh? We expect for see that exuberance and that zest to provide solution. Can't tell you, say, you know what? That's a point now that I am insolvent of solutions. Let us wait for the grace of God to come. That is where Sierra Leone is. The leadership is now tired.
If you're in that position, what you could do?
I will never lose hope. I'll continue to foster peace. I'll continue to provide solutions, i.e., reclaiming our heritage, reclaiming our identity as Sierra Leoneans, continuing from what best describes us as Sierra Leoneans, and improving on the things we are yet to achieve. But I tell you this truth, Musa, the issue of us calling ourselves Sierra Leoneans is really going into extinction. And I really want una as journalists or investigative journalists them make una pay keen eye to them. There is nothing that describes you now as a Sierra Leonean, either by your culture, by your way of life, by your conduct. We don't have anything that is Sierra Leonean. Look the way we dress in traditional engagements. It's either we dress like Indians or we dress like Yorubas. Go to a traditional wedding. So you say, Salomon get traditional wedding. Go see the traditional wedding, how they do them. It's typical Yoruba. Ikomodi, you say Sierra Leonean, they do naming ceremony. Go see how they do. Typical Yoruba. So what is it that is Sierra Leonean of us? It's going into extinction, and that brings me back to the Ministry of Tourism, the Relics Commission, and the Ministry of Civic Education. What is really being done there? Nothing, absolutely. I will say this blatantly. And this is 65 years post-independence. What have we succeeded in achieving? We don't succeed for get pure water in this country. No. We don't succeed for make Upikin them get what we call a welfare scheme. No. We don't succeed for make even Upikin them who they born from 0 to 5 years get basic health infrastructure as President Nkrumah began with the free health medical scheme for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 5. It started. Now it's nowhere to be seen. So every step Sierra Leone take with one administration where it push forward with the APC, when the SLPP come, then they retire them, then they backtrack them, then they take them back to the gutters. This is how it has ever been. So when Sierra Leone leap 2 steps forward, when SLPP come, then they take with 10 steps backward. And to be honest with you guys, except no one agree with me, no one agree with me, but there was a particular time in Sierra Leone we were nicknamed the fastest growing economy. That was when Honorable Minister here that was just left was Minister of Mines. With only 3 leading mining companies in this country by then, London Minings, African Minerals, and Sierra Leone. Now, I'll be there with Mike Brewer. He says Sierra Leone now will get over 13 mining companies actively mining in Sierra Leone. Nothing is happening in this country. Cost of living difficult. People find it difficult to have a meal a day. I am telling you this, Ransford. To be honest, I will challenge you if you do this as a research. Not every Sierra Leonean today in Sierra Leone certain of a meal a day. I'll challenge you. So now, the cost of living too much that anytime where SLPP can have governance, things become very, very difficult.
So how will we able to solve the issues here without being APC or being SLPP or NDA or C4C? But we look at them as a Sierra Leoneans them and solve them once as for all.
The reason why, and I will say this again bluntly, we not go able to discuss national discourse na this kind of platform without bringing in key actors on board. Because don't forget, the political and social business of Sierra Leone has always been shaped by the political parties that have provided leadership. Let me understand this. You will never discuss the developmental trajectory of Sierra Leone if you disconnect them from the political leadership we spearhead them. And so therefore, always with me, if they do in me research, they give me research, what we call a research sample. That is to say, from this point to this point, how Sierra Leone will look like. From this point to this point, how Sierra Leone will look like. From this point to this point. Now, let us take it. Now I make us say, with Sierra Leone, we don't see the good, we don't see the bad, and we don't see the ugly. But however, anytime Sierra Leone will attempt to see the good, because government can change hands, the sooner government come in the hands of the SLPP, Sierra Leone will retire back to the bad. So when we don't move 10 steps forward, when SLPP come, then they take with 20 steps backward. And this is simply put. Prior to this time, even when President Kroma not be give him best, but Emerson say, not see me body so cold water. That was telling you that to some extent, there was sustainable electricity. But now, see how the country did. For making even access lights in a saloon now for 12 hours on a rotational basis, in not certain. Okay. A commodity. For make you even able to get a dignified way of earning you bread and butter in Sierra Leone. They don't reduce it to the way that even Sierra Leoneans don't get pride again. That people can even beg you now because they don't get no alternative. Instead of ego thief, you go tell you, say, brah, well, I am ashamed for beg you, but things don't easy. Help me. Okay. This is where we are now as a nation. Okay. So it is worrisome. And if this continues so, to be honest, I'll tell you, Sierra Leone will stagnate. Okay.
Continue for the way to in the program. In name Abdul Karim Kamara, member of the APC Publicity Wing. The program Good Morning Salon. They continue inside the program where they go for this break.
The Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources and the National Minerals Agency, NMA, proudly announced the second edition of the Sierra Leone Mining Week, which will be celebrated with events set to take place this year at the Freetown International Conference Center from 19th to 23rd May. This year's theme is Our Mineral Resources, Responsible Mining, Value Multiplication, and Shared Prosperity. One of the features of this year's celebration is the 11th African Diamond Producers Association, ADPA's ordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers, consisting 19 countries, where Sierra Leone's Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources will serve as host and chairman. Other events for this important mining week include panel discussions of professionals from several sectors to discuss various mining issues. What's more, there will be an exhibition of Sierra Leone's precious minerals like diamond, gold, bauxite, rutile, and many more that you may want to see at closer proximity. That is why the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources and the National Minerals Agency jointly invite you to come witness and share your experiences in the mining sector. You'll have an opportunity to meet, talk, and even ask questions and get answers from mining professionals. With all that set for the Mining Week running from 19th to 23rd May at the Freetown International Conference Center, it's now on you to make it your duty for an opportunity to get your highly desired information about mining in its entirety. Registration to attend is free. For further information, please visit www.events.nma.gov.sl or make a quick trip to the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources or the National Minerals Agency at New England, Freetown. See you at the Freetown International Conference Center on any day or all the days of the second edition of the Sierra Leone Mining Week from 19th to 23rd May 2026. It's time to talk about the golden glow of gold and other natural national minerals.
Not to know the pressure me. Not to know the pressure me.
Hey, hey, hey! They don't do them all, they don't do them. Then talk them, then do them. How them talk about them bang, now so then they. Or 50 or your T1.
Well, Skololo, who that they don't do them again?
Now PC Foreign Exchange Bureau, the number one foreign exchange bureau in the country, they give all the customers them 1% cashback for every transaction where they make through Western Union, MoneyGram, or RIA.
Na Indoso?
Not so Indoso, nice K. PC Foreign Exchange Bureau, don't 1% the game. This to them to fufu or konkoroma 1% semu, where before Jacko Kotiai, it don't ferembe. This 1%, it can for cantinap get. So you will get Famul, Paddy, or business partner where they send for you money through Western Union, MoneyGram, or RIA. Run go now any PC and Son shop where they all about the country. For you where they free tongue, PC and Son shop they now 16 Godrich Road Lumley, 59 Wellington Street, 31 Guard Street, 19 Frobe Road, 10 and 53 Sanya Bacha Street, 32A Wilkinson Road, 9 Kuto Road, and 24 City Road Port C. For Waterloo Famulem, within a 9A Liverpool Street, Waterloo. For Famulem where they upline, within a 76 Sky Corridor Road Corner, within a 5 Palmer Street Kabbalah, 54 Dambala Road Bo, within a number 4 Denby Street Kenema, 39 Robane Road Makeni, 137 Airport Ferry Road Lunge, Lagos Compound Kailaun, and 35 IDA Road, Cambia. Tell your neighbor say, PC Foreign Exchange Bureau, the 1% the game.
Good morning, Salon. They continue and he said the program now time for make we listen to walkabout.
Morning again, Ati Oya. Ati, this international moral surveyor them. Italexte, PPSL Patino Gladi, with the thing them won't agree to. Ati PPSL Patpool statement say they no go agree for let them look inside the electoral commission of Salon them work because na body we independent. I say, oh yeah, this country waiting sweet for you, you laugh. Waiting not sweet for you, you begin to raise concern. I say, you don't see back outside this club and not they done. Where I can tell una say them two political party na just for serve the interest for themselves, not for the country. Una no can one believe me. Na this daddy can say, waiting me don't see what I don't old. You were young, no go able see ya. This country we just feel back comedy or comedian them. But one know how this talk go come out. I say up till now, I mean the look na PPCR the website. Say they are nothing naughty way to no do. I say Uncle Amara. I say you have this na test case for you. Na this then he say most of una waiting at that place there. Na party picking them. Now some of we they know because up till now from where that happen, nothing no able do. But if not the opposition or other people and do so inside second, una don pata press release. I say we just kill what una would die the no more and left una. I say Africa so Africa. I say bo no chef bo no pass mark bo no to so. From 80, 100, 150, 200, 250, now 300 for refill gas. I say, I don't know why let this country grow, man. Where government get it and say they want let the people tap for use coal and begin use gas. If you dey refill gas, 300. I no go buy me one bag coal when I like get 90 or 100 we go deal with me for almost months. But I get information say, but until information and allegation, they say the reason we make Ministry of Business and Trade not the talk. Now because most of them can get kickback from the gas business. Yes, Daddy, me and Daddy mean the talk. True sharp words. I think I Daddy can give me one picture of Uncle Abdul. They say Uncle Abdul mean the boycott, but Uncle Abdul go ECOWAS program. We get for do with member of parliament them. I say Uncle Abdul of me opposition. But Uncle Abdul, if you mean the boycott, wait till you go do per ECOWAS program. We get for do with member of parliament them. Now I make Daddy tell me say, you know say where ECOWAS can come. Na nice program man. I say na true ya. Uncle Abdul get for by fear. You like go collect line small till put on in pocket ya. But anyway we happy. Oh no don't reason una go return back na parliament. But hope say we too no do so down no boycott business. Uno no go do again because una dey do something not on the interest of the people. Now for no political party by then tender ya. Una suppose for the full press statement but the light, water, how the country go back to worse. But uno don't defect no more for uno self. Now so I see another picture of that boy, Uncle Grant. We don't grant we blackout grantedly. I see him by one picture that say go IMF food. What did this boy go do there? What you they go explain? I mean one what he beg you to go explain? Say salon they enjoy light. I don't tell me cause I don't tell me family where they around it. If that man they talk anything say the country they enjoy light una tell me and the deporter instant. Me na the honorable Piki Wakabot.
Good morning, Salon. They continue well from Wakabot. They go for this break.
Another morning again.
Very many happy reasons.
Listeners and viewers, anytime you get this music, they know for no say somebody in the house they celebrate a birthday today, and today no other person else but now we own colleague Alfred Jana we they celebrate a birthday today. Musa
of Alfred Jana of Sports Updates Extra and also Sports Updates. Well, we call on supporters and fans of Alfred Jana, the sports sector, for join the celebration, the Salon Premier League Board and Female Premier League, SLFA, NSC, all Ministry of Sports for join Alfred Jana as they celebrate today, a very strong sports journalist, one of the foot soldiers now the sports sector on 90th.
Indeed, a very hardworking somebody now the house is celebrating birthday today when Alfred Jana. Well, on behalf of management and staff, we want to wish Alfred Jana a happy birthday and pray that he will continue for be that kind of hardworking somebody and also continue for celebrate many more birthdays to come.
Well, from then the messages then they break them. We come to we studio guest, we na Abdul Karim Kamar. member of the APC Publicity Wing. The program Good Morning Salon they continue. Today 65 years anniversary and going further within now the message of hope from the All People's Congress Party and to Salon people in terms of the future and within it holds for Salon people.
Of course, as we reflect about Sierra Leone and amidst this challenging and most difficult moment in the history of Sierra Leone ever, the acting chairman of the party issued a presser. And I hope Sierra Leoneans will give that presser not a political lens, but really it's a call where it provokes Sierra Leonean student conscience and see Sierra Leone bigger than political parties. Ambassador Usman Fode and Sane talk say, this country belongs to we all. The level of state capture, the level at which we, the people of this country, don't be denied of potentials for expand and for grow, be worrisome. So it is a matter of duty that all of us must come together collectively and strive for the betterment of this country. Let's disconnect them from political lines. Let's disconnect them from everything we have to do with parties and politics, but for the greater good and for the interest of Sierra Leone. Let's see that Sierra Leone deserves better than this. So the hope is this. We don't test SLPP. President Bio came in 2012. A campaign in this country, say they change this country, make them better. It not be succeed. It succeeded in 2018 on the same platform. But wallahi where it can. See how Sierra Leone do like now. It don't do for let we know say. It not able. This work here, you know able now. With respect to Ram as the first gentleman. See how today, 8 good years President Bioff in tenure as president. What is Sierra Leone really don't enjoy and you don't benefit.
You listen to the presidential speech?
Nothing.
You listen to the presidential speech?
Because it start for talk 7 o'clock and I go for run for Kaya. But from here I get it for go read them and listen and care.
What do you expect from their statements then the presidency message to Salon people on Independence Day?
Last year I not be celebrated with you, not be there. This year I think say this Salon. Because last year I talk say on the same platform again. I say the only thing Sierra Leoneans don't see from President Bio and would celebrate in absence and in overseas travelers. That he don't travel past all man of this country as president. And when he promised you say it reduce in the wage bill, that the inverse he can do. In fact, he can bloat the wage bill. Now Sierra Leoneans at 65 would buy cement for 250,000 leons per bag. Would buy rest slightly above 700 or 800,000. Cost of living too much on people, it burdensome to the extent that school going kids not able to access education with all the much talked about free quality education, learning and teaching materials so unavailable in our schools, that the extent that even the free quality education that they talk about now a more cost intensive than any other time in this 65
in this 65 years anniversary of Salon, what in you the point as Salon people for celebrate about to see the good things?
To be honest with you, and this is where I have to say this for the fear of Allah, deep word politics. We don't get nothing as a nation who the praise sing ourselves about. I am deliberate about it.
What about the religious tolerance?
Before APC and SLPP, Sierra Leone, based on something the best things that we inherit, that this country was tolerance through religion. Because don't forget, Sierra Leone get a rich traditional heritage. And you know the history of Sierra Leone with the Omani Empire. Because of that, it was a traditional Islamic state, wherever it was. But with the emergence of the free slaves, when they repatriate them to this province called Freetown, where they be guaranteed of them freedom, it allowed them for them cohabit as freed people, that everybody get the right for do what you want for do, without you being intimidated or challenged or any other vices for at least make you feel very, very constrained. So because of that background, onto this point we are enjoying it. So the issue of Sierra Leone being a religious tolerant nation has nothing to do with political parties. In this
No, we are not talking about political parties. We're talking about saloon generally after
beauty.
65
That's
years.
the only thing.
What do you think so for celebrate as of today?
No, Musa, that's Zion. I don't need to argue you at all. That's the only identity we get in a saloon. That this is the only country they see. Church they so, mosque they so. Church posse they come on a church, enter a mosque, a worship with we. Mosque posse they come on a mosque, they enter a church, a worship with the Christian. Beauty, no challenge. That's the only thing that Sierra Leone is left with us. But outside that one day, bruh, go to everything. Our tourism sector is dilapidating. Instead of promoting our local talents, the Jamaicans, the Minister of Tourism, go cow it. If you watch chapter 1 and other first class pubs in a salon, most of the places the way they make them full up, not to local artists them. Either they call Jamaicans, they call Nigerians, or they call Ghanaians. Then go make we go there and we go dance with them. So I am beginning to tell you, even the Sierra Leonean culture, say that thing for say this now with Sierra Leone and possibly go support them, it's fading away.
Okay.
So as a nation, at 65, it's really, really unfortunate and saddened that we have nothing to point at. That we slept in the dark, no electricity, no good and pure water running in our pipes, no infrastructure, no good road network, challenge in the healthcare, challenge in the social service provision, challenge in almost every facet of life, and most importantly, the rule of law. This is where you listen, me papa na be they talk just now say, incitement they by level. I say, me papa can even go to that law. That incitement they by level. I'm a lawyer. I never know say incitement they by level. Incitement and incitement. So if Peter they not hold on for incitement, you back do am. But look where Papa waka about the talker. If na APC so, if I don't see PPRC they find way under, cut the draw way under, as it happened with the issue of Zainab Sharif and Lansana Dumbuya. We go for Sofa Tute. PPRC find we, Zainab Sharif they know, Jailam, Lansana Dumbuya still they around jail, court. See? But when Kadiru Kakai do am, Batilo Sunga do am, Deputy Minister of Information do am, President Bio do am, nobody no ask them. Nobody no say nothing.
Okay.
In fact, they find way for put her in a very subtle manner. But if not the APC say so, would they battle with PPRC? Would they battle with the court? Okay. This is the country where we find ourselves. But one thing where I want to make we all agree as a nation, that for allow and believe say this country belongs to we all. Sovereignty belongs to the people. It is these people who come to decide come 2028.
Okay.
The reason is this, and I said that to you, Musa, in passing, that you cannot discuss the transformation or the trajectory of Australia in developmental terms if you disconnect them from political leadership. And therefore, this time around, we have noticed that the political leadership in the SLPP has failed by every estimation of a reasonable person. The only option, the better alternative, is the APC come 2028. And we provoke the consciences of Australians. Indeed, the SLPP and President Bio have failed us, and we can only resort to the APC as the best and better option.
One was a plenty. Thank you to you, Abdul Karim Kamara, member of the APC Publicity Wing. Earlier on, we beget the presidential spokesman, Alhaji Alpha Khan. As today we look at the country's 65 years of independence. Well, because of time now, so we go bring down the curtain. But the edition of the program, Good Morning Salon. Plenty thank you to the production team. Kabia, we produced the program. Plenty thank you to DJ K-Man for technical support, and Mary Kamara Bangura. We make us see we now with social media platforms. We will present the program in name Adeyemi Jackson. They say goodbye.
And Musa Kamara say bye-bye.